We have a ton of Chicago Bears news to discuss as we just heard from Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson at Hallis Hall as veterans reported today. Some injury updates, a couple of free agent signings, and more. We're going to dive into all of it. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome. And before we get to that, help us out. Help us grow the channel. Let's get to 125,000 subs ASAP. The goal is by August 1. All right, we can get there sooner. We're 330 away. If you want daily Bears news and updates throughout training camp in real time, this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button right now. I'm Harrison Graham. The Bears have signed 2 veteran players, according to Ryan Poles. He announced the signings of defensive end Tenno Passeno and veteran corner Trey Flowers, both of whom have over 90 career games of experience. Let's talk about Kpassagnon first because he does come in at a position that we've discussed a lot, which of course is off the edge, and he's got a connection to both Dennis Allen and Ryan Poles. He's played his last 3 seasons with the New Orleans Saints, only played in 4 games last year, was injured for most of the season, but does have 16.5 career sacks. He's a classic DA prototype, 6'7", 285, long arms. Historically is a better run stopper than pass rusher, but Ryan Poles is familiar with him as well. When Poles was in the Chiefs front office when they drafted Kpassagnon, so he scouted him. He's familiar with him also, and certainly an interesting signing. I think we talked about him once or twice earlier this offseason. He's not among the better pass rushers available, in my opinion. Like, I would rather have brought in a guy like Jadeveon Clowney or obviously a Zadarius Smith or someone like that. Not to say that this signing prevents that, but I do think it's a signal, at least in the short term, that they're probably going to roll with what they have right now. If I were to pencil him in, he's probably one of your top 4 edge rushers. You go Montez Sweat, Dio Adengbo. I'll put him in there with Austin Booker as your top backups. And then obviously Dominique Robinson and Daniel Hardy competing in there as well. What I would say about Kpassagnon, and I've followed his career relatively close, is he's a good rotation player when healthy. He's a floor raiser. I wouldn't consider him a ceiling raiser. Like, if you brought in Zadarius Smith, there's a world where he gives you 8 to 10 sacks. I don't think Kpassagnon does that. I think he can dent the pocket a little bit. He'll help in run support, set the edge, and if he gives you 3 to 5 sacks, you're probably pretty happy. Like, he's purely a rotation guy. Like, if you want him to start, not an ideal situation. Now, I assume it's a vet minimum deal, so no harm, no foul. It does help your depth out, but I don't know if this is some signing that makes me think that differently about the edge group overall. Okay, let's go to Trey Flowers now, who has also played a lot of ball, has bounced around the league, 95 career games. I think he started about 45. Big corner, 6'2", 6'3", about 200 pounds, fits the frame and build of a press man corner, of which we know Dennis Allen's going to do a lot. And I think this signing is more of a result of Jaylon Johnson set to miss a couple of weeks here, which we'll talk about in a second. But you got a lot of interesting corners now. You got good starters. You got good depth. Now, obviously, that CB2 spot could be up for grabs, the other outside corner with Tyreek Stevenson, the favorite to win that job. But you got Terrell Smith. You drafted Zay Frazier, Nick McLeod, and Trey Flowers, a couple of vets who've played a lot of ball. Sean Wade and Deshaun Wright in the mix as well. And again, I think this is more of an insurance policy because Jaylon Johnson is going to miss a few weeks here. Poles announced that he suffered a leg injury during his offseason training in between OTAs and training camp, and that he's going to be out for a few weeks. Said he didn't think it was serious. Doesn't sound like he'll miss a ton of time. Maybe it's one of those deals where they just don't play him in the preseason even once he's cleared and just make sure he's full ready to go once week 1 gets here. I'm not overly concerned at this point. I don't think it's something to be overly concerned about. The good news is all those theories about, oh, he's on the NFI because it's contract related, even though they're not allowed to put him on NFI if it's not some kind of injury or illness. I think we could put that stuff to rest. But we don't know exactly when he'll return, so we'll certainly keep an eye on this one. But again, in terms of bringing in Trey Flowers, I think that's more of, okay, experienced veteran. He can play outside corner. We like his skill set in this scheme, compete for a roster spot, and help us out while Jaylon Johnson is out in the early portion of training camp. So if you ask me, like when I look at these two signings, and you guys can weigh in which one's better, TK for Kpassagnon or TF for Flowers, I think Kpassagnon has a better path to the roster and to making an impact at this team. Why? Because it's a much less deep position on this roster right now. The Bears are not nearly as deep at edge as they are at corner, but let us know which signing you like better, TK for Tenno Passeno or TF for Trey Flowers. And to make room for those two signings, the Bears did waive defensive back Alex Cook and defensive end Jeremy Robinson. Robinson, who was part of the UDFA crop that signed after the draft this year. Okay, some more injury updates to discuss coming up in a moment, plus a quick note on Caleb Williams from Ben Johnson. But first, we are sponsored by Brunt. The best working boots I have ever owned are these bad boys right here from Brunt, and you can get $10 off right now with code CHAT, so be sure to check it out. As a homeowner, there's always projects around the house to work on, and Brunt's boots provide both comfort and durability required to get these jobs done. Before I found Brunt, I can't tell you how many different working boots I tried and went through. I was always left with foot pain, blisters. My socks and feet would be wet after certain projects because they weren't waterproof. They just didn't offer the overall performance that Brunt boots do. The Marin boots from Brunt are the most comfortable boots I've ever worn. You can finally have durable work boots that are as comfortable as your sneakers. They are lightweight, waterproof, slip and oil resistant, heat resistant, and electrical hazard rated. Join over 500,000 other customers with Brunt and join the Brunt family today. They let you try boots on the job risk-free, and all their products have free shipping as well. Brunt was tired of workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that don't hold up, so they built something better, boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time only, our audience gets $10 off with Brunt with code CHAT at checkout. That's code CHAT at bruntworkwear.com. Use code CHAT or /chat to get the $10 off. Tell them we sent you after your order. They'll ask where you learned about Brunt. Bears Now by Chat Sports. We got you guys covered. Okay. Ryan Poles also announced that Colston Loveland and Braxton Jones have been medically cleared. He did say that they will almost certainly require an extra ramp-up period because neither guy has practiced in a while, right? I mean, I would assume there's been some workouts going on, and we know with Colston Loveland there have been, but they weren't out there in team activities during OTAs or minicamp, so they're obviously going to be a little bit behind schedule. I'm still keeping an eye on this. I think it's certainly good news, like, hey, they've been medically cleared. But are they actually full throttle? Like, once the pads go on after the first 5 days or whatever, we won't know. I don't think Johnson said exactly when the pads are going to go on yet. Typically, it's, early week 2 of camp or end of week 1. We'll have to wait and see. I'll be curious to see if they're out there practicing when the pads are on. A guy like Colston Loveland with that shoulder, like, do they want him taking hits a week into training camp? I'm not so sure. Do they want to build his strength up a little bit more? I could certainly see that being the case. Braxton coming off that ankle surgery. Is he going to be full go with a guy like Montez Sweat on the opposite side, pushing him back in the pocket? So we'll see how that goes. But I still think positive development that they have been medically cleared, even if they aren't quite, full, football throttle yet at this point in time. Now, speaking of Braxton Jones, Ben Johnson made it very clear that it is going to be a true competition at left tackle. He said that job is up for grabs, and he was even pressed like, hey, with Braxton back, with him being experienced, having 40 career starts, does he have a leg up? And he said, I would think he would use that experience to his advantage, but everyone is starting on an equal playing field. So it certainly sounds like they're going to be splitting those reps with him, Ozzie Trapillo, Karan Amagaji. He even said, if it takes 3 weeks to determine who the starting left tackle is, great. If it takes all 6 weeks leading up to week 1, that's fine as well. They are going to be thorough and make sure they get the best guy out there to pair with the rest of this offensive line. And that's one thing he made a note of as well. The rest of this group is pretty settled. Now, if there's an injury or if something pops up unexpected, that could change, but Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, that's your interior. And he was asked about Darnell Wright at left tackle, and he said the plan is to keep him at right tackle. So they've all but put that to rest, the idea of flipping him over to the left side at this point in time. If something catastrophic happened, could they reconsider? Of course, you got to be ready for every scenario, but they've got 3 guys in the competition over at left tackle. One of them is going to emerge, especially considering we know Braxton Jones has a pretty high floor, so worst case scenario, he could just be the answer, assuming he's fully healthy. All right, lastly, I wanted to include this, and ton going on today with news out of Hallis Hall, and we might expand on this topic a little bit later, so stay tuned and subscribe. But Ben Johnson was asked, how's it gone with Caleb this offseason? He said they're ready to go. They've been talking on the phone almost every single day during this dead period, yada, yada, yada. And he said that he set a lofty goal for Caleb to complete 70% of his passes in 2025. That's obviously a big jump, 62.5% a year ago. But I think, number one, I like that he's setting lofty goals, not just for Caleb, but in general. Like, hey, let's not just shoot to be a 500 football team. Let's try to be a Super Bowl team. Whether or not we can reach that this year, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's shoot for 70%. If we get to 67, that's still probably pretty damn good because that's a 5% jump from last year. I think in general, what Bears fans should want to see, what I want to see, is more efficiency and more explosiveness. And that's why I do kind of wonder 70% might be too lofty because I think, and Johnson's talked about this, encouraging Caleb to be more aggressive with his arm should be emphasized, and that could lead to some incompletions, right? So we'll see if 70% is actually on the table, but I do think they'll generate just easy throws in a lot of games, especially early on, just scheme guys open, which is something that Shane Waldron and Thomas Brown failed to do a lot of the time last year, just kind of 3-step drop, get the ball out, slant, rubber out, stuff like that. So I do think this offense in general will just create easier completions, but we'll see what Caleb actually ends up doing. Okay, fill in the blank for us. Caleb Williams will complete blank percent of his passes in 2025. I think I set an expectation of 65.5, 66. Let's get a 3 to 4% jump from last year because 70, you're in the upper echelon of the NFL if you reach that number. So, I'm still in that 66 range, but let me know where you guys fall on this one. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll see if we're back with another episode later. This is already our second one today, so stay tuned and subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you never miss out when there's breaking news.